Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. In our top story, the Virgin Islands may have avoided a complete financial collapse after the sin tax bill was passed by the 32nd legislature earlier this week. However, the long-term effects are unclear. The governor and his financial team made calculations, but no one knows for sure how this bill would not only affect business, but local consumers as well. Stephanie Brown reports.
The sin tax bill has been passed by the legislative body and will move to the governor's desk to be signed into law along with the property tax bill 32-0007. These two revenue-enhancing amendments are the initiatives set forth in the governor's 5-year financial plan.
I am confident as governor that the Virgin Islands will make it through this difficult time.
These two revenue-enhancing amendments are the initiatives set forth in the governor's 5-year financial plan. The new timeshare fee revenues will be allocated to the Virgin Islands Tourism Advertising Revolving Fund and to a newly established contingency reserve account. Excise taxes that will be raised on liquor, beers, and tobacco products are projected to generate $27 million in new revenue. However, even if the sin tax bill does generate new money for the government's operational costs, how do the people of the Virgin Islands know that this new revenue stream won't be mismanaged as it has in the past? One business owner spoke about her concerns.
I run a business that my ends are meeting, and I run it effectively. If I ran my business like the government ran their business, I wouldn't be in business any longer. So they're putting the burden on the people that are balancing our budget. We know that the wholesalers are going to be purchasing it at a higher cost, so therefore we'll be purchasing it at a higher cost. People with fixed incomes, people on a budget, will be able to afford less. They'll be able to afford going out less.
Stephanie Brown, News 2.
Count on 2 to keep you updated. Governor Mapp, meanwhile, who is in Washington, D.C., meeting with congressional leaders, said he will review the measures passed on his return to the territory on Wednesday. Mapp said he is grateful for the support of the Virgin Islands legislature in acting to restore fiscal stability to the territory. He also thanked residents, community leaders, and business community for their pragmatic ideas to address the very serious financial issues facing the territory. The bills now awaiting his signature are a major step in that direction, he says, along with strategies to cut costs. Well, April 8th is the day set for the special election. Prospective candidates have until Friday to submit substitute nomination certificates and papers. Election Supervisor Carolyn Fox said she intends to issue a certification of all nominees. The final list of candidates running to fill the vacant St. Thomas seat in the 32nd legislature on Wednesday. The casting of lots is set for March 10th. That will determine the order in which the candidates appear on the ballot. After March 10th, the sample ballot must be approved by the St. Thomas St. John District Board of Election before it becomes legal. Election reforms were approved by the legislature, but they must be signed by Governor Kenneth Mapp. Turning to crime reports, 25-year-old Spencer Wayne Allen is being charged in at least one of the 3 cases of suspected arson, which occurred Monday night on St. Thomas. And this is an update. He was arrested on February 28th on a criminal complaint charging him with maliciously damaging the U.S. Navy and Marine Recruitment Center by means of fire in the Niski Shopping Center. Allen appeared before U.S. Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller on Tuesday and a hearing on Wednesday. Miller ruled there was probable cause to detain Allen. Police arrested Allen following a traffic stop on a vehicle matching the description of a vehicle spotted leaving a scene of a fire at the U.S. Coast Guard station on St. Thomas. At the time of his arrest, police say Allen had 3 lighters and a tube of black zinc oxide sunscreen on his person. Police spotted a gas can matching the style of the gas can left at the scene of the courthouse fire in the back of Allen's truck, and they observed that his hands were singed. Allen faces a single charge of malicious destruction of property owned or leased by the federal government by fire and a potential 20-year maximum sentence if convicted. According to court documents, the suspect on all 3 blazes were captured on security cameras. as Virgin Islands Fire Service personnel extinguished 2 outdoor lawn blazes at the Ron DeLuga Federal Building and United States Courthouse and the United States Coast Guard Station. Firefighters were called to the 3rd fire at the United States Navy Recruiting Center in Niski Center. On March 1st at approximately 9:30 a.m., 30-year-old Sean Tyson was placed under arrest after the victim identified him as the individual that sexually assaulted her on January 29, 2017. The defendant's bail was set at $50,000, which he was unable to post. He was processed and turned over to the Bureau of Corrections. On March 1st at approximately 11:23 p.m., officers were dispatched by the 911 emergency call center to investigate an assault in Mount Pleasant. Christian said St. Croix. Hears more from VIPD.
Upon arrival, officers met with a female who stated that she was traveling to her friend's home and noticed a vehicle followed her to that location. She indicated that 2 masked men shoved her out the car, threatened her at gunpoint, assaulted her, and took her vehicle and fled the area. The victim sustained laceration to the forehead. This incident is under investigation by the Criminal Investigations Bureau. The VIPD is asking for your assistance in making more arrests. Call the Criminal Investigations Bureau at 340-778-2211, Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911.
Also on March 1st, patrol officers made contact with an assault victim at Roy Schneider Hospital who stated that he was at Double Play Bar Prince Enscada when a Hispanic male grabbed him and struck him numerous times to his head with a beer bottle. Patrons at the bar were able to pull his assailant off of him. The victim then ran from the area for his safety, but the Hispanic male followed him as well as the suspect's girlfriend who had a knife. Police say the victim ran into Hala Hala to get away from the suspects. The victim was treated for injuries behind his ear at the Schneider Hospital. For the last 6 months, AP English Language and Composition students at CAHS, they have been hard at work on a collaborative research project with high school students in Denmark that shed light on an aspect of VI history, the role Moravian missionaries played in the education of enslaved Africans living in the Danish West Indies in the mid-1700s. On Wednesday, CAHS students, they welcomed 24 Danish students from Haderslev Cathedral High School in Denmark to embark on 3 days of research sharing, field trips, and a roundtable discussion. And today they presented their findings at CAHS. We will have more on the project in a later newscast. Here's more.
This is all about education, and it is entrenched in inquiry and investigation. The students are also making lifelong friendships. They're learning about their history. This is something that's very important because too often we have students who leave here, they do not know their history. The role that the Moravians played in the education of the slaves in the then Danish West Indies had a great impact on education as we see it today.
Ricardo Richards Elementary School on St. Croix, they enjoyed a cultural and festive day yesterday. Students as well as staff enjoyed performers by masqueraders and the sweet sounds of Quilbe music from Virgin Islands music ambassadors, Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. The school provides cultural education to students every year. Students are seen wearing the traditional gingham material showcasing the heritage of the Virgin Islands to the motto to preserving culture in the territory they say is to live it. Every March, the country celebrates the accomplishments of women in American history. On March 19, 1911, a German woman named Clara Zetkin organized the very first International Women's Day. Inspired by American working women, the annual event took on the causes of peace in an effort to end World War I, as well as women's rights. In 1978, a California school district started Women's History Week to promote the teaching of women's history. School officials picked the week of March to include International Women's Day. It was so popular that in 1981, Congress passed a resolution making the week a celebration for the entire country. Then in 1987, Congress declared the entire month National Women's History Month. While President Trump is spending the day focusing on boosting military spending, the story that's getting all of the attention, Russia. President Donald Trump delivered a speech in Virginia centering around his push for increasing military spending. The spotlight instead on his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and accusations that he lied under oath during his confirmation hearings. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. We can see everything down. The Dow down 112, NASDAQ 42, S&P 500 also down at 14. Coming up on NEWS2, Governor Kenneth Mapp reminded residents that March 1st marks the beginning of Virgin Islands History Month. So that Act 6802 was signed into law in 2006, creating that month-long recognition of Virgin Islands history. And history makers, be sure to tune into NEWS2 for the rest of the week. We'll have more highlights. Many of the Ghost players from the movie have formed a team that travels throughout the world hosting clinics, and they ended up on St. Croix. Highlights coming up next. Welcome back. That was a shot there of the El Galeon, the full-size reconstructed Spanish sailing vessel used in the 16th to 18th century. It was here in St. Thomas, but sailed out yesterday, Wednesday. Many had a chance to tour, but if you didn't, we will share some highlights from on board in a later newscast. We'll turn into Dominica for Caribbean news. Dominica's Carnival, the feast of calypso music, carnival competitions, and activities, all leading up to 2 exciting days of street jump up, has wrapped up. Events began as early as February 4th in Roseau. And Gregory River made his debut as a 4-time calypso monarch, and Jade Romaine was crowned Miss Dominica. Here's some highlights.
For months leading up to one of the most coveted regional pageant titles, Miss Dominica Jade Romaine says she is in a hard-working mindset. Idona John Baptist reports.
Jade Romaine of Gutter Village secured the Best in Costume, Best Swimwear, Best in Swimwear, and Best Evening Wear awards to be crowned Miss Dominica 2017 last Friday night.
Journey to the throne has reached its culmination tonight here at Carnival City. Our new queen, our new Miss Dominica 2017 is Jade Romaine.
I am in a very hard-working mindset. Recently, Dominica has been doing very well in regional pageants, and I intend to continue to ensure that my country does well when I go forth and represent as Miss Dominica.
Gregory Caressa Rivera has added his name to the history books of Dominica as he now joins the ranks of 4-time Calypso Monarchs, NC, and Solo. Caressa, who previously won the Calypso Monarch titles in 2009, 2010, and 2015, won his 4th title on Saturday with his popular renditions Hook in a Minor and Second Round.
Early morning exercising. Oh, Caressa the holy. Went up Californian drum and cannot perform. Trust me, I'm coming strong.
Some great highlights there. Now, Trinidad and Tobago's annual carnival wrapped up on Tuesday, February 28 in Port of Spain. On Sunday night, Chalk Does Hollis Liverpool, no stranger to VI, was crowned the 2017 National Calypso Monarch for the 9th time, while Rondell Pierre and Lillian Pierre were crowned 2017 King and Queen of Juve. MX Prime and the Ultimate Rejects are set to dethrone Machel Montano and take the 2017 Road March title. Known as the biggest street party on earth, Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival is officially celebrated on the Monday and Tuesday before Ash Wednesday every year. The Carnival festivities start just after Christmas and continues until Ash Wednesday, loaded with dozens of high-energy parties and premier cultural competitions. We'll turn our attention back here at home. Virgin Islands Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett is rallying against the use of taxpayer funding to establish a partisan, unelected commission with subpoena powers to usurp, she says, the authority of Congress and jeopardize public health. H.R. 998, which is the Searching for and Cutting Regulations that are Unnecessarily Burdensome Scrub Act of 2017, she says proposes to use the $30 million in taxpayer funding to establish a commission with unlimited subpoena authority to review federal agency rules and make recommendations to Congress on which rules should be eliminated. She said this legislation is nothing more than a clandestine attempt to advance corporate interests at taxpayer expense. It will take regulatory review out of the hands of subject matter experts and place it with a partisan commission appointed by the president. At best, this bill would increase bureaucracy and waste money. Charter Day, the day the university's charter, UVI, was approved, was March 16, 1962. Charter Day ceremonies are planned to mark the occasion, including a Charter Day concert presented by UVI's College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences Music Department. It is in recognition of UVI's 55th anniversary. The historical event will be held on Friday, March 17th, 8 p.m. at Reichel, featuring UVI Concert Choir, Concert Band, UVI Jazz Ensemble, UVI Steel Pan Ensemble, and Applied Steel Pan Trio. And Tilly School is excited to open up the play Seussical Tia, a musical performance for young audiences featuring some of Dr. Seuss's best loved characters. That's beginning on Friday, March 3rd and running through Sunday at Antilles Pride du Lac Hall. Showtimes are 7 p.m. on March 3rd, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. On March 4th, 1 p.m. and then on March 5th. In addition to the all-student cast, music, and fun, you can enjoy pizza with the characters Saturday, March 4th after the 1 p.m. matinee or brunch, Sunday, March 5th at 11:45 a.m. before the 1 p.m. matinee. You can call the school for more information and to reserve your space. Well, in other news, if you build it, they will come. That famous line is from one of the best movies ever made about baseball, Field of Dreams. Many of the Ghost players from the movie have formed a team that travels throughout the world hosting clinics. St. Croix is the last stop in the VI. News 2's Gary Anthony stepped up to the plate to file this report.
Spring training may just be getting started up in the States, but here at Canagator Ballpark, the Ghost players are here from the Field of Dreams, and baseball is in mid-season form. Over 60 youngsters came to Canagator Ballpark for a baseball clinic and some lifestyle tips from the Ghost players, a barnstorming baseball team and comedy troupe.
This is my third year being down in the Caribbean, doing different events like this, doing youth clinics, comedy routine, and just doing reaching out to the youth and the communities to just show them what baseball, how much fun you can have with it, and what it can propel you to success, throughout your entire life.
Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation Commissioner Pedro Cruz agrees.
We have been making a serious research and study about our sports, and we found out that we need our kids to be motivated. Therefore, we have been identifying professional organizations that goes around the world and work with this type of programs.
The kids got hands-on instruction on pitching, fielding, and hitting. All the drills were designed to teach and have fun. The highlight of the clinic included a comedy skit by the Ghost players, who incorporated many of the clinic's participants in their routine.
Well, let's check, guys. Good job, fellas.
After the last at bat, everyone got baseballs, pictures, and autographs. It was a great night at the ballpark.
2, 3. Awesome.
Gary Anthony, News 2.
Now, the Ghost players plan to return to the Virgin Islands in November with several players from Major League Baseball. One of the biggest sporting attractions, the 21st running of the 8 Tough Miles, saw 1,063 participants cross the Coral Bay finish line. One man, Travis Strong, a serviceman and member of the team River Runner, became the first person ever to complete the course using a hand cycle. The race's course is along Centerline Road from Cruz Bay to Coral Bay. Most of the participants this year had traveled from around the country and around the territory. International participants included racers from St. Martin and Canada. This year saw the race's youngest and oldest ever participants, 4-year-old Gideon Lee of St. John and 78-year-old Christina Williamson of Minnesota and William Kincaid of Tortola. Shiloh Milke, 37, from Asheville, North Carolina, crossed the finish line with the fastest time this year, clocking in at 50 minutes and 16 seconds. 17 racers finished in less than 60 minutes, including Virgin Islands residents Derek Harrison, Evan Jones, TJ Hines and Bo Layton, Matthew Crafts, Tim Handley, Shane DeGans, and Connor McKelvey. And congrats to our very own Enzor Cologne for that video of TV2 who ran that race just to share that video with us. Good job, Enzor. You're very inspiring. Over 50 players are competing in Innovative Choice Wireless VI Open Tennis Tournament this week through March 5th at the host, St. Thomas Yacht Club. One remarkable entry is Chris Haggard, a South African native. Haggard turned pro in 1993, subsequently won 6 ATP Tour titles. Another entry is Puerto Rico's Erwin Lopez, who won the men's open singles last year, as well as the men's open doubles with partner Fernando Negron. Additionally, Will Bo Wigard of Easton, Connecticut, a two-time men's open singles winner, is in this tournament. Players compete in 13 divisions in this USTA-sanctioned tournament. Total prize money amounts to over $10,000. Be sure to go out and support. Stick around. News 2 AccuWeather comes your way next.
Well, we're continuing to see a moderately strong trade wind flow move across much of the Central Caribbean, and the Virgin Islands are no exemption from that. We have a larger area of high pressure out over the Atlantic. The rotation around that causing that pressure gradient to be just a little bit stronger than what we have seen. Now, this is a pretty normal flow for this time of year, so outside of brief passing